A Few Steps Back, Part 1. The best way to stay in the shadows is to control the light bearer. Introduction. Oliver Codrington Gill was born enslaved on the Codrington sugar plantation in 1655 and had since then remained alive, experiencing strange cycles of aging and age regression. Oliver first noticed the signs in 1690, when scars he had for over a decade just suddenly vanished, then reappeared again in 1697. In 1711, the scars vanished again, causing Oliver to start a record journal of his changes. Though he was now 56 years old, he physically appeared like his 35-year-old self, with just 2 gray hairs pronounced in his beard. It was only until the mid to late 1700s that he began to grasp the dynamic, cyclical nature of his condition. During this time, Oliver was forced to develop strategies to allow these changes to go unnoticed. Oliver gained his freedom at the early age of 7, when he was purchased by a missionary couple, Gregory and Philistine Gill, as a means of adoption. While living with them on the Bola settlement, Oliver gained skills and knowledge in mathematics, boat building, philosophy, and scripture. His ability as a master caulker gained him entry to the shipbuilding world in the early 1700s, allowing him to travel and work in many shipyards across Europe. Intermittent relocating, accompanied by the occasional name change, allowed Oliver's condition to remain undiscovered for decades. In 1795, while appearing as his 35-year-old self, Oliver returns to Barbados and the former Codrington sugar plantation, now operating as a theological college, the first of its kind in the Western world. There, he encounters a young priest who calls him by name. This shocks Oliver, as he expected that anyone who knew him would have been long gone. However, Oliver engaged the priest, trying to assess how much he knew. The priest was direct and asked Oliver how many people knew about his condition. Oliver explained that although he was tempted to, he never told anyone due to fear of their response. The priest said that was a good choice and that they should meet in private to talk further. Later that night, the two met, and the priest gave Oliver a folded handwritten text. The priest said, "Listen carefully. We must be brief. You must understand the weight of what you carry. These words and your living condition must stay hidden from the world. Mine are not the only eyes, and if certain eyes gaze upon you, what peace you have will be taken away. You must be careful, my boy. You are experiencing the age swing, and for you to understand the age swing, you must understand the sons and daughters of God. For you to understand the sons and daughters of God, you must understand the tree of life. And for you to understand the tree of life, you must understand the true design of this world." The two said their goodbyes, and Oliver went on his way. Oliver walked for hours that night, all the way to the Holetown Bay, and arrived in the early dark hours of the morning. He boarded a vessel which he was hired to work on, and found himself a small private cabin. Despite the long travel, Oliver did not feel the need for refreshments or to compose himself. Without hesitation, he placed the lamp he was holding on a shelf, lit a candle, and placed it on a small table, and he then took a seat on the makeshift bed in the corner of the cabin. He unfolded the text given to him by the mysterious priest and began to read. MAUDA, The Hidden World. Chapter 1. The Supreme Dream. The supreme dream is the lucid dream of God the Dreamer. For he awoke inside the dream and claimed dominion over it. In this moment of lucidity, he became the Almighty, fully aware, fully in control, fully capable of shaping all that would come next. And with this power, he gave the supreme dream something no lesser dream has ever held: integrity, stability, and purpose. Within this perfect lucidity, a sub-dream was formed, crafted by the Almighty's will, a realm of its own, a place designed, structured, and set into motion. This sub-dream is the universe, the realm of all things seen and unseen, of laws and forces, of time and being. The Almighty shaped it, refined it, and perfected it, crafting the conditions for all that would come. And when his design was complete, he rested, and in his rest, the sub-dream was animated. Chapter 2. This World. This world is the second phase of a sub-dream, designed and orchestrated within the supreme dream. The first phase of this sub-dream was that of the original creation of Earth, where water sprang up from the ground. Its destruction was that of water. Its creation confirmed that the creation of a fully conscious being is accompanied by rebellion. This confirmation led to this second phase, the creation of heaven and earth, where water falls from the sky. The creation of the two worlds allowed for an improved version of reality to be realized, while retaining the primary format and the inhabitants that dwell therein. It is prophesied that its destruction will be that of fire, transitioning the sub-dream to the third phase, that of heaven on earth. Chapter 3. The Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is a tree-like phenomenon of greenish light that outputs the universe, with herself at the center, constantly growing in size off of the memories she stores. She is the bridge between heaven and earth, and is the mind of the universe. She is also called the Goddess Aurora. Chapter 4. Heaven. Heaven is an infinite realm above the firmament, where creation has been reimagined and expanded upon. Its conditions support age-regressive immortality. The branches of the Tree of Life expand infinitely in this realm, creating an even more stunning and complex cosmology. Living light exists in heaven, light without a source, causing all things to seem self-illuminating. There are no shadows there, only darkness separated from light. Where there is nothing to illuminate, darkness dwells, causing an eternal night in the midst of an eternal day. Heaven can be accessed by the sons and daughters of God and their offspring, or by any soul adopted and transformed by the Tree of Life. Chapter 5. Earth. Earth, though it had become ruinous and void from the flood at the end of the first phase of the sub-dream, was recreated under a new format for creation, heaven and earth, while retaining its life and death cycles, compatible with the righteous or chosen souls saved from the cataclysm. Chapter 6. Eden. Eden is the sacred garden that contains the holy lake, and where the trunk of the Tree of Life emits from the earthly plane into the heavens. It is the birthplace of the sons and daughters of God. Chapter 7. MAUDA. MAUDA is the land that surrounds the sacred garden, which is blessed by the divine spores of the tree, endowing that space with conditions similar to heaven. It is the dwelling place of the sons and daughters of God. The spores accumulate like snow and are called Side. Side is consumed by all living things, giving access to the divine mental bond, or increasing the potency of the connection. It is food and delight for both predator and prey. This space does not contain the wild food cycle that exists outside of it. MAUDA sits in the cratered peak of the magnetic mountain that ascends into the clouds. The mountain is surrounded by bands of distortion, including an inversed magnetic field, fog, and ice. Chapter 8. Immortality. Immortality was not considered for man, the fully conscious organic being of the first phase of the sub-dream. The life and death cycles that existed in all creation were also applied to man. But some, unlike the rest of creation, being fully conscious of inevitable demise, rejected death. Those who saw the world as fallen by design desperately sought to rectify its flaws. In so doing, they corrupted themselves and the world around them. The second phase of the sub-dream introduced immortality in heaven and on MAUDA, cycles of enhanced cellular regeneration, supplemented by the spores from the tree of life, influence aging and age regression cycles, allowing youth to be restored after aging. This allows for memory to be retained, skills to be developed beyond mastery, parents to see their offspring grow old, and descendants to also see their ancestors in youth. Immortality outside of the tree's sustaining support can turn to a dull and darkened existence for the sons and daughters of God and their offspring, offsetting the balance of their age cycles. They can be forced into petrification or other alternate states if conditions are not favorable for organic systems to operate or adapt. Reproduction away from the tree's support can be challenging and painful. Chapter 9. The Sons and Daughters of God. The sons and daughters of God are born directly from the tree of life, each with a unique purpose or gift. For one lunar year at the beginning of the second phase of the sub-dream, the tree of life bore fruit on the new moon of each month in a pyramid pattern. The first month produced 1 pod, the second month 3, the third 5, then 7, and so on, until reaching the 13th generation of 25 pods. There is a gradient shift from the first generation to the last concerning power, race, mental bond ability, and initial maturity. While the first generation arose at full peak adult maturity, full power over nature, full ability to commune through the bond, and very dark in appearance. The last generation were very light in appearance, almost no bond ability, no innate control over nature, and arose as toddlers barely able to run. On the first new moon, the tree sprouted forth, a pod over the sacred lake, onto its banks. The pod unfolded, and Yahweh arose. The Almighty Dreamer had entered the dream in the flesh. With full mind and power, he is established as ruler of heaven and earth and guardian of the tree. For 1 month he was alone, and during that time, he took a branch from the tree of life and created a staff to regulate his power, which he initially found difficult to control for intricate tasks. On the second new moon, the tree sprouted forth 3 pods onto the bank of the sacred lake. The pods unfolded, and out of them arose Oshun, Jehovah, and Isis. They too made staffs. On the third new moon, the tree sprouted forth 5 pods onto the bank. From these came Elelevel, Hathor, Amen-Ra, Bastet, and El Shaddai. They too made staffs. On the fourth new moon, the tree sprouted forth 7 pods, and from them came Mamiwata, Melchizedek, Oya, Shango, Mawulisa, Thoth, and Yemaya. These 4 generations comprised the divine council. On the 13th new moon, the tree sprouted forth 25 pods onto the bank of the sacred lake. They unfolded, and out of them arose Uriel, Athena, Gabriel, Freya, Michael, Astarte, Zeus, Diana, Apollo, Frigg, Metatron, Brigid, Azazel, Venus, Baal, Dianmu, Adonai, Eris, Semyaza, Ishtar, Lucifer, Sophia, Uriel, Lilith, and Raphael. Generations 1 to 4 are the powers. Generations 5 to 12 are the Elohim. The 13th generation are the principalities. Chapter 10. the age swing. The age swing is the range of aging and age regression that occurs within the immortal. Those of the 13th generation of the sons and daughters of God experience the widest natural swings, which range from age state 10 to 60. However, some of their descendants, being away from the tree of life, experience excessive aging, going up to the 90s in state. Those who have experienced many swings begin to develop the ability to influence the swing to preferred states. These individuals are called the age shifters. The end of part 1.